Now, in your science textbook, we had finished the lesson 4, materials, metals, and non-metals, up to this last 4.3, right? Exercise 4.3, uses of metals and non-metals. So now let us move on further. You should be able to guess why metals are used in making machinery, automobiles, aeroplanes, trains, satellites, industrial gadgets, cooking utensils, water boilers, etc. You are also familiar with the uses of some non-metals. Here are some interesting ones. We are sure that you will guess them right. Now you normally know what are the uses of metals and non-metals. Non-metal is essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing. That is oxygen. Which non-metal is essential for life? It is oxygen. So write down here oxygen. Then further, non-metals used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of plants. That is nitrogen, right? Nitrogen fertilizers are being used. Nitrogen fixation also happens by rhizobium bacteria, some decomposers, right? Nitrogen is essential for protein synthesis. That is why it is essential for the growth of plants. Then non-metal used in water purification process. There is a non-metal which is being used in water purification process. Non-metal used in purple colored solution which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic. It is iodine, right? Here in water purification, alum is used. Alum, और जिसको आप फटकड़ी बोलते हो, that is used in water purification process, or it is basically non-metal. Is alum is a compound, but here chlorine is used. Chlorine is a gas which is being used. Non-metal which is used in water purification process is called chlorine, right? Then non-metal used in purple colored solution which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic. It is iodine. Normally when you are wounded and when you go for a dressing to a doctor, the doctor applies tincture iodine on your wound because it is an antiseptic. It kills all the bacteria and microorganisms which are present on the wound. That is why it is used in dressing wounds, right? Then further, non-metals used in crackers. It is sulfur or phosphorus is being used to make firecrackers. So these are the uses of metals and non-metals. Further, you may add some more uses of metals and non-metals from your experiences. There are a lot many, like many metals are being used to prepare wires, right? For example, aluminium and copper is used to prepare wires, electric wires, right? Because they are good conductors of heat and electricity, so they are ideal for making wires. Secondly, aluminium foils are being used to pack food. Gold and silver is used to make ornaments, right? You can just note down this in addition so that you can remember. There are many uses of metals and non-metals in our daily life. Many things in your house which you are using, they are made up of metals, right? Many things are also made up of non-metals. Certain things like plastics and all those are non-metals. Wooden furniture is being used, that is also a non-metal, right? So there are a lot of uses of metals and non-metals in your daily life. Now further, I heard that magnesium is found in plants. In what form it is found in them? Magnesium is found in the plants. In what form it is found? It is found in the form of vitamin, right? The doctor reported iron deficiency in my body. Where is iron in my body? Iron in your body कहाँ पे होता है? Magnesium आपकी body में कहाँ होता है? Teeth में होता है actually. Your teeth are made up of magnesium salts, right? Iron in your body is found in hemoglobin. The oxygen which circulates in your body is mixed with iron, and that determines the red color of your blood. Now here magnesium is found in the teeth and bones of your body. Now let us read further. In class 7th, you have learnt that in chemical reaction new substances are formed. These substances are different from those which underwent the reaction. Now, if a substance cannot be broken down further by chemical reaction, by cooling, heating or by electrolysis, it is called element. जो सबसे purest form में आपको nature में मिलता है, that is called an element, right? It cannot be broken down into any other different substances. Those substances which mix with each other to form a substance, they are called compounds, right? The product of that mixture is called a compound. Sulfur is an element, so is iron. Carbon too is an element. The smallest unit of an element is atom. What is it called? सबसे छोटे से छोटा यूनिट जो होता है, जैसे आपकी बॉडी का सबसे छोटा यूनिट होता है सेल, वैसे एलिमेंट का सबसे छोटा यूनिट होता है एटम. A sample of an element contains only one kind of atom. The atom of an element remains unaffected by physical changes in the element. It remains unaffected by physical changes, right? Whether it is liquid or solid or whatever state it is, but the atom remains the same. For example, an atom of liquid sulfur would be exactly the same as the atom of solid or vapor sulfur. So the state changes, but the atom, the structure remains the same. Although we have an infinite variety of substances in the universe, the number of elements forming these substances is limited. There are no more than 94 naturally occurring elements. All these gases, solids and liquids, these metals are included as elements which you find freely in nature. Right? As I told you, the different formulas of metals and non-metals, right? For example, aluminum, then copper, then iron, zinc, all these are metals. Lead, all these are metals. They are freely found in nature. That is why they are also called elements. An important classification of element is in terms of metals and non-metals. Most of the elements are metals. The remaining are either non-metals or metalloids. Metalloids possess characteristics of both metals and non-metals. They are the mixture of metals and non-metals, so they possess characteristics of both metals and non-metals. Now let us go further and read what all points we learned into this lesson. The first one, metals are lustrous, whereas non-metals have no luster. Luster is a shining. Metals always shine, so they have a luster. Generally, metals are malleable and ductile. However, non-metals do not have these properties. They cannot be drawn into wires and sheets. They break. They are brittle. They form into a powdery mass, right? So they are non-malleable and non-ductile. Generally, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, but non-metals are poor conductors. Metals always conduct heat and electricity, whereas non-metals do not. On burning, exceptions are there, of course. Here also, poor conductors, some non-metals, that is graphite, which is your pencil lead, this conducts electricity and heat. That is an exception to non-metals here. On burning, metals react with oxygen to produce metal oxides and are basic in nature. On burning, metals react with oxygen to produce metallic oxides. And metallic oxides are always basic in nature, whereas non-metallic oxides are always acidic in nature. Non-metals react with oxygen to produce non-metallic oxides which are acidic in nature. Write all these points one time in your notebook. They are very important. Then some metals react with water to produce metal oxides, metal hydroxides and hydrogen gas. Generally, non-metals do not react with water. Non-metals do not react with water, whereas metals react with water. To form hydroxides and hydrogen gas is released. Metals react with acids and produce metal salts and hydrogen gas. They release hydrogen gas. They form salts of the metal. Generally, non-metals do not react with acids. Non-metals do not react with acids. Some metals react with bases to produce hydrogen gas. Some reactive metals displace less reactive metals from their compounds in aqueous solutions. Metals and non-metals are used widely in everyday life, right? Now, I need to give you the formulas of different metals, which I had told you that I will be giving with this chapter. I will send a photograph of that with this. So here we finish the lesson. Now let us move on to the exercises. We will just solve the initial exercises and we will stop there. Which of the following can be beaten into thin sheets? Zinc, phosphorus, sulfur, oxygen. Phosphorus, sulfur, oxygen are non-metals. So zinc is only a metal which can be beaten into thin sheets, that is, it's malleable. Then second, which of the following statements is correct? You have to find out the correct statements. All metals are ductile? No. There are some exceptions. Then all non-metals are ductile? No, not at all. Non-metals are not at all ductile. Generally metals are ductile? Yes, it is true. Some non-metals are ductile. That is also wrong. Non-metals are not ductile. They break and form a powdery mass. Now fill in the blanks. Phosphorus is very dash non-metal. It is reactive. That is why it is stored under kerosene or water. Metals are dash conductors of heat and dash. That is good conductors of heat and electricity. Iron is dash reactive than copper, more reactive than copper. That is why it displaces copper, right? But copper is less reactive than iron. Metals react with acids to produce dash gas, that is hydrogen gas. Now just mention that there are true or false. First one, generally non-metals react with acids. No, they do not react. Sorry, it should be false. Non-metals do not react with acids. Sodium is a very reactive metal. Yes, it is correct. Copper displaces zinc from zinc sulfate solution. No. Zinc displaces copper, but copper is quite inert, so it does not replace zinc. Coal can be drawn into wires. Can it be drawn? No. Because coal is a non-metal and it is very brittle. If you try to beat it, it will become a powdery mass. So that is also false. Now some properties listed in the following table distinguish between metals and non-metals on the basis of these properties, right? On the basis of these properties, the differences of metals and non-metals we have already written in the workbook. So we will solve it there. So we finish up to exercise 5. From exercise 6 we start further next time and move on to the next lesson, that is coal and petroleum, lesson 5, right? And I'll be sharing the question answers. We stop here.